So I think most should know by now, but there's still plenty who may not fully understand that sex and love, not the same thing, all right? You have to separate these two things, especially when it comes to men. And I think there's a quote that says, men use love to get sex and women use sex to get love. And it's unhealthy on both sides, all right? It's a dynamic that creates more problems. And as a woman, you have to be careful with thinking that sleeping with this man is what's going to get you to the finish line, all right? I know there's a lot of women who may feel the pressure of having to be intimate. Now, let me make something clear. I'm all in support of abstinence. You know, I think from a spiritual perspective, waiting till marriage is best. But I always talk about the fact that I understand many of us, and I say us because I'm guilty as anybody else. Many of us have struggled with waiting till marriage. All right. And many of us cross that line before marriage comes. But if you're going to walk that path, not saying you should, but if you're going to walk that path, then you've got to understand why you're doing it and how you need to go about it. In the sense that, again, if you're going to choose to lay down with this man because you want to do it, that is your choice as a grown woman. If you feel like you want to enjoy that experience with him, that is your choice as a grown woman. But the minute you start thinking that this will gain you favor in his eyes, that this will get him hooked, all these different things, this is where you're crossing a bad line. Now, let me be honest with you. Can the sex hook a man? To a certain degree, yes. Yes. But not in the way that is truly beneficial for you in the long run. This is the thing. It's not that it cannot get a man to become attached to you, because sex does bond people in a lot of ways, attach people in a lot of ways, creates unhealthy attachments. And yes, if the sex is great, it's very easy for now a man to want to hold on to you. But here's the problem. If he's not serious about being with you, if he doesn't see you as his future, the sex doesn't really change that. He may in a moment of stupidity, and I say this because it's just what it is, right? In a moment of stupidity being clouded by the sex, he may try to convince himself that, man, maybe I should make her my girl. Maybe she could be the one because this is so good, right? And ignoring the other red flags that exist in this relationship. But he will not be able to sustain being a man that you need, because now his motivation is really driven by what he's getting from you in this area. It's not being driven by what he's willing to pour into you. And a relationship cannot last and be successful and healthy and happy without two people being willing to pour into each other's needs and desires. So do not mistake the man getting hooked, or situations where you see women who, yes, seem to win the man's attention with getting an actual happy, healthy relationship. His attention doesn't mean you have his respect. His attention doesn't mean he values you. His attention does not mean he's best for you. So you've got to be careful with that. And I always say, again, if you're going to cross the lines with intimacy, then you want to be sure that if things don't work out with you guys, you will not feel some kind of way about giving yourself to him physically. That's the thing. If you're going to be able to, if this thing blows up tomorrow, I mean, let's say you sleep with him tonight, tomorrow it blows up, he falls off, whatever. Not saying it's ever going to be cool or good or you're going to be happy with it. But if you're not going to say, man, like, feel like you got cheated because you laid down with him, then okay. But if that's going to be a level of hurt for you, because to you it's a huge sacrifice, it's a huge thing for you a huge step for you to take, then you shouldn't take that step until you reach that point of comfort. Now, of course, we all know that any relationship can end at any time. It can end during the dating. It can end in boyfriend and girlfriend. It can end in marriage. But you want to get to a place of peace of this aspect of crossing lines with him intimately. So do not think sex can bring you love. And the women who do, this is where they get themselves hurt a lot. And I have to say this, I have one of those hit in my spirit moments. I want you to understand, and I say this, everything I'm saying in this video, y'all know. I say it with love. I don't say it to hurt y'all. I don't say it to make you feel some kind of way. I say it to wake you up, to give you more awareness, right? Here's the reality of using sex as a weapon and having sex sooner than maybe you should for where you're truly comfortable with it, right? You have to understand, though you may think this sex will get him hooked, the sex could actually push him away. Because I think and again, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but I have to be real. I think a lot of women have this mindset of, they're just, like, I've never heard a woman say she's not good in bed. Right? Every woman believes she's awesome in bed. And so they don't realize that, yes, you may have been awesome for the other guy you were with, but with this guy, there may be a lot of things lacking. All right. And the reality is that you moving faster than you were truly comfortable with can lead to a lack in performance, can lead to a disconnect in the bedroom, can lead to things that he's actually going to now judge you on. So the idea that using intimacy is a great way to draw in a man is very misguided, because you don't even know if you can give him that quality, because maybe you guys haven't spent enough time even trying to get to know each other sexually. We need to have more conversations beforehand, before we cross that line, when we're trying to establish healthy, long-lasting relationships. But I want you to be aware of that, because there's a lot of women who will say, well, the man, you sleep with him and then he's gone. And the assumption is always, oh, he just left because he finally got what he wanted. But the reality sometimes is it wasn't connecting like that. I'm trying to find nice words to use right now, all right? The vibe wasn't right in the bedroom, and it was used against you, essentially. And that's why you don't want to lean on that as a way to get a man. And when women do, it is a sure way to end up getting played. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there.
So let me give you a story real quick, all right? I remember one time there was a guy I knew, and he was dating this woman, and to my understanding, he was doing his thing on the side, right? And one day, I guess the woman